Good afternoon, how are you guys doing? So welcome back to the channel. We are finishing up, I believe we should be finishing up at least this turbo D16 Y7 Honda Civic that I got dropped off here. So if you didn't watch the last two videos, so far we have knocked out some fab work and a little bit of mechanical maintenance. So we have built a crash bar up front, we mounted the intercooler, made some nice intercooler mounts, we slightly modified cold side or the hot side piping. Got that to fit, and now the only thing left, I also made radiator mounts and then fixed the downpipe because it had a really big crack in one of the welds because it had broken, hitting something or something like that. And then we also did the driver window motor. So in this video we're picking up and we're going to be knocking out these energy suspension trailing arm bushings because that's what the guy has supplied. I always recommend you do hard race or OEM or something along those lines. Much easier to do is my main thing. And I personally just don't like the poly trailing arm bushings. They're just not my thing. So yeah, car is basically ready to go home once these bushings are done. So the last thing that's hanging me up is this turbo drain. Let me show you. Now bear with me here because the car is obviously jacked way up, so the car is kind of low down here. But basically the issue, if you didn't watch the other video, the issue with the turbo drain setup is the turbo sits very low. So this is a precision turbo on a Speed Factory manifold. Very good combo, I'm sure, but for whatever reason this thing puts the turbo way down lower. So I don't know if the manifold was designed for a smaller trim turbo or something, but the main issue being is that the drain line is way too low. So normally, if you know anything about drain lines, you're supposed to have as much as a downward slope as you can get. This one is basically a 90 and then goes straight across, and even then that's putting it at the very bottom of the oil pan, which is not good because you have to have the bung for your drain to be above your oil level. So it's ideal to put the bung at the top of the oil pan, like right under the flange without warping the flange, you know? So obviously that becomes a problem because I can weld a bung on there, that's not a problem. I got a bung to weld on. But the issue is that it's not going to drain correctly, and that's a good way to blow your turbo because you're going to be backfeeding oil in it because turbos drain using gravity. Meaning if you don't have a downward angle, that oil is not going to go anywhere, and especially if you have like an upward slope, like in this case what it's basically going to be doing. So the drain line is going to be kind of going like boop, beer, which means that the turbo is not going to drain back or drain into the pan. So the only other option at that point would obviously be change the whole setup or do some sort of external sump pump, something, I don't really know, scavenge pump, I don't know what they're called. I don't do enough turbo stuff yet to really know solutions like problems like this, but I'm gonna worry about that. I'm gonna do a little bit of research, but for now let's knock out these trailing arm bushings. Yeah, let's just get to it. So I meant to start doing this like an hour ago, but I set my tools on the ground. I was like, you know, I hate working with my tools on the ground. Like, I don't know, I just don't like having my tools everywhere. So I just built this bench. My girlfriend had brought home this shelving thing because we were gonna use it for something else, and it just sat here against the fence forever. And I had some spare steel, so I just made a little table out of it. So yeah, I got some casters here to make it rollable. I'll weld those on later. But yeah, basically trailing arms, wheels off, and then it's pretty darn simple. I'm just gonna be time-lapsing it, so I'm kind of gonna explain to you really quick. So you're gonna undo the control arm bolt, the most outward one. You have to undo your camber arms and your toe arms, and then you have your e-brake cable you have to pull off of your assembly here. And then you just got your two bolts for the trailing arm bushing that go into the chassis. Getting the arm off is the easy part. Getting the bushing out is the easy part. Getting these new ones in, that's where it's a little bit more tedious. Normally it's not so bad. I got my own little tool for the hard race bushings that I made, and it just presses them in nice and smooth and even. With these energy suspension ones, the issue why I hate these things so much is you gotta reuse the dog bone, and if you don't know what that is, it's like the metal rod that's in the middle. So we're gonna have to spend like 2 hours grinding, cutting, lighting stuff on fire. And sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. It's just, I hate doing it, but let's get started. just want to express my absolute fucking hatred for drum brakes. Stupidest thing ever. Unnecessarily hard to take apart and reassemble. E-brake, I didn't even realize these were drum brakes, so that sucked. But it's apart, so I got the e-brake off. I'm gonna do one side at a time. I've only done drum brakes a handful of times because I hate them to death. So I need the other side to have a reference to go back to. Let's keep working. Starting to question my sanity at this point because I just forgot about the hard line, and you can't take the hard line off because I thought you could just unbolt this thing, forget whatever the thing, the piston. You can't. You have to unbolt the line from that. I'm not trying to bleed the brakes, so I'm trying to actually just remove the whole freaking hub thing and see if I can get away with doing that. Yeah, I don't see any other way to get this thing off without taking the brake line off, so I'm gonna just do that, and I'm gonna charge him for bleeding the brakes too. So drum brakes, stupidest fucking thing ever, I swear. Alright, that thing's finally freaking off. I'm frustrated. I don't even want to do this no more, but whatever. Let's smack these old bushings out real fast. So I didn't notice this till just now, but 2 of these wheel studs are like completely smoothed out, stripped. So I think I'm gonna just go down to the store because I gotta go to O'Reilly's anyway and get some vacuum line for the boost controller I gotta mount, and I'll just have to get a couple new studs. Actually, I should probably check the other side really quick, see if these ones are okay. Yeah, these 4 are okay. It's just the 2 on this side are just totally stripped out. So, okay, well, let me open this box up real quick. So these are the energy ones. Let me see if I can open this one-handed. Alright, so you can see this is going to be the new bushing. This isn't so hard to get in. It's just gonna, I mean, it almost slides in by hand. You're gonna want to use excess or plenty of this grease that they give you. So it's their pre-lube stuff. Just go heavy on it because the more of that you have, the longer you're gonna get without them squeaking. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean up that a little bit so there's not a bunch of crud in there. But the main thing is we gotta take this old bushing wherever I set it. Where did I set it? Oh, it's right here. So we gotta take that dog bone. So I gotta throw this in the vise, and I basically gotta get all the rubber off of this piece, which this is the most annoying part. Not that it's necessarily hard, it's just really time consuming and super annoying. So I'm gonna try a mix of different things and let you know which works best, and then we can film it on that side, because I really don't know what best tool to use. A saw, fire, air hammer, anything. So I'll catch up with you guys. Alright, so the least smelly but equally as messy way I found to actually get this thing out is using a sawzall, and like any sort of blade works, and you just cut it all off, try and skin it like you're skinning a friggin' turkey or something, and then just wire wheel like on the thing, whatever it's called. But yeah, so this is all good to go. I'm gonna grease this thing up, press this in there. I'm gonna just do it off camera because this stuff is really nasty and sticky, and I don't want to end up trying to touch my camera while I'm using it. So I'll just show you guys when it's all pressed in there. Well, more good news is these aren't even the right bushings. Obviously not supposed to be doing that. So that's really annoying. So now this guy hopefully will just buy the correct bushings, like the hard race ones. But yeah, these are way too small. So I don't know what these are supposed to be. These are the original trailing arms to this car, I would assume, seeing as there's drum brakes. So I don't really know, because this doesn't even have really a part number on it. It just says trailing arm bushing set, but I don't see a part number in here. So yeah, I'm gonna text the guy, and I guess we're kind of at a standstill until this gets sorted out. Contact with the owner now about these bushings. It turns out Energy, I'm pretty sure, sells 2 different size bushings, so he must have just ordered the wrong ones. But he just checked Energy. Apparently they are sold out right now. They don't have any in stock, and same with Hard Race. So right now I think we're just trying to find some OEM ones or like stock ones from AutoZone / O'Reilly's. I'm just making a few phone calls right now. None of my local stores seem to have them, but I think there's a hub store more in the Phoenix area, which is I think closer to this guy's house. So I'm just waiting for him to text me back, see if he's wanting to pick those up or if he's gonna have to have me go and get them. So things wouldn't be like it wouldn't be me if things were easy. But, and I know also beforehand, before anybody else says anything, I know you can do these on the car, but it is so much easier to do it when the whole assembly is off the car. And since I don't know, everybody has their own way of doing it. I get way too pissed off trying to do it with the assembly on the car, especially when you got to do it like this. I don't know. I got my own tool for when it's off the car that I made. For when I'm using the press, takes me 2 minutes. And if it's a disc brake setup, I can seriously have both trailing arm bushings off the car and like reinstall them back on the car within like 45 minutes. Like, it's so easy when you have disc brakes and when you have normal bushings. But like I said, it wouldn't be my stuff if it was easy. It has been a rough couple of days. So that last clip talking about the bushings, I got the bushings now. We just ordered some like O'Reilly's ones. I got them in hand over there, and then I also got 2 new wheel studs. I've been trying, my girlfriend's been sick. She's had a sinusitis or whatever it's called, sinus infection. Yeah, that's what it is. So I don't know, but I think from helping her, taking care of her for the last week, I freaking got it. So woke up the other day just absolutely dying, and so even right now I'm feeling a lot better, but my sinuses and my allergies are still just getting wrecked right now. So I'm just down on energy because the first day was rough, just oof. But yeah, anyways, enough of that. I know you guys don't care, but we got the bushings, so I'm gonna just try and get this knocked out. I do have to call Doge or somebody, probably Doge, because he gets off the earliest. And a lot of you guys were commenting on my Instagram story about the trailing arm bushings, like, oh, you can just do it on the car. It's like, yeah, I know you can do it on the car, but but it's way easier to do it off the car. And with the amount of stuff you got to disconnect, even drop the arm enough to pull it down to do it on the car, you may as well just do it off the car, where it's easier, you have room to work, you don't have to be laying on your back and stuff. Then I don't have the tool to press them in on the car. I do it on my other press because I have a little DIY tool. But just want to throw it out there. You guys, a lot of you guys think you're got good suggestions for stuff like that, and I appreciate it. But when I get like 20 messages back to back, they're like, oh, just do it on the car, do it on the car, do it on the car. I'm just like, y'all didn't even watch the video. But that means that we don't need this stupid dog bone no more, or the energy ones. So these ones just go back in the car. And this stuff we can just throw away. Okay, that's a much better fit. So I'm gonna run this over to the press really quick and get these pushed in. So my tool, if you guys haven't seen my tool before, it's basically I just took 2 outer bushing rings and welded them together with a slit for the dog bone to go through. So pretty easy. Let's do these studs really quick. So looks like this one. This one. To get these new ones in, I always just tighten them up with a bolt, or with a lug nut. So this is all my tool is. Just 2 of the old races welded together with some plates on it to press evenly, and then just a top plate to actually push again. So you can do it without a press. You can use just a big hammer if you're like Garage Built Hondas, aka John Widmer, but that dude's got the patience of a saint, because I tried it many times before with just a hammer. Never works for me. I'm also very impatient, so I think that's why I originally bought this press. But yep. And just like this, starts going in. And it also bottoms out when it gets level with the trailing arm where it's supposed to sit. So right about there. There we go. All that fuss getting this arm off for 2 minutes worth of pressing that in. Oh no, do it on the car. Shut your mouth. Got this side all put back together. It should be correct. It's mirrored to the other side. I don't know why. I just struggle so freaking much with drum brakes. It's one of those things my brain can literally just not grasp, like how they go together, and then it seems like every time I put them together it's just something feels off. So this looks pretty good. There's no super looseness anywhere. I only smacked myself in the face once trying to pull the damn spring up. So now I think everything is good here. Freaking fingers crossed, dude. But like all the bolts are in and everything, so I know it's like bolted up good. I should be good to move on to the other side quick, and I'm not even gonna film that because I'm already pissed at this side, so I'm just gonna move on and then get this crap done, because I don't want to touch this car anymore. I'm over it. I've had my limit. I want to move on. I want to get paid, move on to the next project, you know. So my dumb ass just realized I didn't even have to take the drums apart in the first place. I could just undo the brake line. Told you guys, I'm no better than you. I just make videos because I like making videos. Okay, I just realized why I took the drums apart in the first place. Because you gotta get the stupid ass e-brake cable out. That's why. Okay, so I am retarded, just not as retarded as I thought. I told you, I ain't feeling well. This is annoying. So yeah, I don't really see a way to get the e-brake off from, yeah. Crap. Whatever, I'm just gonna have to deal with it and fight a child after this. Take out my anger. But it is what it is. I mean, at this point I'm about ready to just pull the e-brake cable from the inside, because that was hell trying to deal with this crap. But whatever, I know what I'm doing now, and I guarantee after I do it this time, I'll forget in 10 minutes. And next time I do drum brakes, I'll be yelling and swearing just like I am now. I decided for going on the inside, because this way is a lot easier for sure. Should have done this to begin with, but you know, I thought this was gonna be a lot more work. I already got the cable unhooked, now I just gotta go pull that bottom heat shield off, a couple 10 mils, one more bolt, and then the whole cable I can just pull it right through, and I don't have to worry about freaking fighting with these drum brakes and messing something up or just getting too pissed and taking way too long. That works so much better than taking the brakes apart. So, got the cable right here. Okay, let's smack this thing out. Where's my hammer? Much faster. Just gotta hoist this thing up now. Well, I think you guys can see that this guy has royally fudged this thing up, so it's completely rounded. The flare nut wrench won't even begin to bite it, so it just slips right off. So it'll spin it right around, just like that. So, yeah. Why me? Why I gotta be the one to deal with this type of stuff? Yeah, that's stuck. I think this guy's gonna have to end up getting that whole top portion of the brake line rebuilt, because looking at it, it's all mangled up going into the engine bay. So I think it'd be best to just cut his losses and take it to a shop that can rebuild that line. I don't have the tools and stuff to do that here. I haven't had to yet, so I haven't bought those tools. So I'm gonna let him know. I don't want to mess something up more, because at the moment I believe the brakes work just fine. He just wanted to change it out because he knew it was a damage a problem area. So yeah, I don't want to deal with that. I'll let him know. I've been trying to clock this turbo, and no matter how the turbo sits, there's no way to drain this thing. So I'm not going to do it, because I don't want that come back on me, you know, when this turbo blows up, because it's back feeding oil into it. But while I was down there trying to mess with the turbo bolts, I noticed there's two more cracks on here, like two smaller ones there that ran alongside the backside of the welds. I don't know how I missed those before, but so I just patched those up. But yeah, I think I'm gonna try and move on to these hood latches, because as for this turbo drain, dude, I've tried. It's just one of those things where you gotta kind of cut your losses. Like, I love to make the money and charge them for putting a bung on there and whatnot and getting this thing hooked up, but I know it's not going to drain correctly without a sump, because this turbo just sits too low. I tried messaging Speed Factory on Instagram, they left me on red. I tried emailing Speed Factory, they have not got back to me to verify if this is one of their manifolds, and if so, like how to actually route the turbo drain. So I'm not very happy with them. I would assume they have a full-time media / like salesperson that can answer something like that, but apparently not. So with that being said, I'm not going to deal with it, because like I said, I don't want that coming back on me. Same thing with that brake line, I don't want that coming back on me either. So those are the two things at this point I'm not going to be able to do. So I'll put the downpipe back on, and then we'll see if we can try and trim out these hood latches. He's already got some really cheap, crappy ones on here. He has some nice ones, like the arrow catch ones, but they're kind of tedious. I kind of need to go get a better tool for that though. Alright, so after talking with the owner a little bit, he's pretty insistent on his old situation being good enough for him for now. So he did say he had a little bit of oil in the turbo, so he knows it's backlogging, but he doesn't want to do a scavenge setup or a sump or anything. So I told him I can weld the bung on the pan for you because I got that spare pan over there, and then I can give you that, but just for my sake, I'm not going to put it on so I'm not liable. And he's really cool with that, so I'm just gonna go ahead. He sent me some pictures and some measurements of his other pan where the bung was. That pan got damaged, that's why he can't use it. The bottom of it got like blown out or whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna do that, and then throw that in the car. I'm gonna kind of tweak the alignment for him a little bit just by eyeballing it really quick, because that thing's almost impossible to push with how towed in it is. So hopefully that should be good. And then all we got left is this hood latches, so I'll get started on that. So before I even tried to put these things on the car, I tried to open them, and they don't open. So that's supposed to be unlocked, and like the button doesn't do anything. Like this moves, but it won't come up. Try and turn it the other way. It's locked, like nothing works. So went ahead and messaged the guy, told him just that, I mean, I was able to get the one open with the pick tool. I had to pry it open. So I told him, don't even worry about them, like just get the name brand ones, otherwise you're gonna end up like me with broken hood latches. So he's stoked for that because I didn't cut his hood up yet, which I noticed also that the name brand ones are slightly different shape, dimension or whatever than these these cheaper ones. So it's probably best that we just make the cuts once and he gets the real ones. So if he brings back to me, cool. If not, it is what it is. Got the front end all put on. I got the tires aired up because they were super low, so I just made one last trip to the parts store to get some vacuum line for the boost controller, and I just bent the bracket and the vise so that way I can mount it here with the headlight, because I forgot, did a shave, so there's like literally no bolt holes anywhere to use. So I'm gonna go ahead and use right there and just run that from there to there. So got 5 foot of line, that should be more than enough. I just want to be sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and hook that up real quick, and then this thing's good to go home. So I guess that about wraps up this car. This thing definitely kicked my ass. And it's only because of those drum brakes. If I would have just thought to take the e-brake cable out first, like from the inside on the other side, I would have saved me half the day. Well, not half the day, but I would have saved me like 2 hours today. And that thing, it just kicked my butt. And then just not having energy on top of it, like crawling on my back on that car, man, I am exhausted. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, hopefully you've considered subscribing by now. And if you want to help support the channel in terms of getting projects in, you know the best way to do that is use those Amazon affiliate links, sign up for the Patreon, get merch and my SD Fab products from the Big Cartel, and that is how I can afford to do stuff besides live and pay bills. So, anyways, you guys get it. Hopefully soon we can get a project car for the winter. Not that Arizona has much of a winter, but I am itching to build something of my own again. I really want to turbo something. I just don't know what at the moment. But we'll figure something out. So anyways, guys, do what you love. Figure out the rest. Thanks for hanging out with me here today, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.